So I went to clean this up a bit off camera, and I think we have lost my Metabo. I think its days are numbered, if not at 0. Yeah. Oh, yep, she's done. Okay. I salute you. It's done great. We use this a lot. It's okay. It's okay though, buddy. What is up, party people? Welcome back to On the Brink. Quick little story time here. We got back from LS Fest on like Sunday. I let the truck sit on the trailer. Went back to my normal life, just let it sit. The following weekend, I had just a car show I wanted to take it to, just a local small show, nothing crazy. So come Friday, I decided, well, better get her off, you know, the trailer, give her a little wipe down from LS Fest. She had some dust on it. And then go to leave for the car show on Saturday. Made it, I don't know, mile and a half from my house. And kaboom! Da-da-da-da-da-da! We had something come loose. Turns out it was the drive shaft. So we're right back on the trailer. Wonderful. I'll show you guys what happened here. See if I can get you in there. Nice. So that's supposed to be up there. Yeah. See if I can show you on the other side what happened here. These are hard lessons learned. You guys see that there? That strap's got no nuts on it. It's not broken. There's just no nuts. Now, where those nuts went and when they went, I have no idea. You've seen us on the dyno. We did every bit of 15 pulls on the dyno. I drove it some after that, not much, but some. And then, like I said, we made her a mile down the road and let go. There's a couple things to be learned here, right? One is drive shaft loop. I've been talking about it for a while. I just didn't make it a super big priority because it's not that much fun. You know, it's a safety item. And, you know, I just didn't put it at the top of the list, right? Well, now I understand why. Because if I would have had one of them in there, that drive shaft probably wouldn't have got all chewed up like it did. It'd probably be savable, I would think, without going back to the shop. I don't know. But now I got to get this thing out of here and get it to the drive shaft shop because I need at least a new end put on it. But that leads to more issues, right? So the truck's on the trailer. I can't drive it right now, obviously. It's got no drive shaft in it. This is the entrance to my shop. So it's long and narrow. You got to, normally I'll drop the trailer out there in the driveway and then drive in head first. And I got to come in this way, right? I'll come in here and then back up, and then I can get in over there at the lift, but I got to do at least one to two corrections there while we do it. And then getting out is even more interesting. I have to come up through here, back up next to the Jeep, and then come back around this way. And normally I got to make at least one or two corrections here, pull out there. Well, I can't drive it because there's no drive shaft in it. And if you've been watching for a while, you know we got a full spool in here. Means the axles are tied together. They spin at the same rate. Pushing this while trying to turn is not going to be an option. I'm going to have to figure something else out there because I don't think it's going to work. You know, you could do the jack trick where you jack up the rear axle and then pull the jack, let it down, do it again, pull the jack. That seems like a lot. I'm thinking we take this to a new level of sketch, and I'm thinking about doing it right here on a trailer. So I got two ideas. One, all right, idea one, probably the most of the sketch. We're gonna take the truck, we're gonna back it off the trailer halfway. This is a tilt deck trailer, right? The whole deck tilts. So I'm gonna back half the truck off. I'm gonna tilt the trailer back up so the front tires are out here, and then I'll take a jack and I'll jack the back end up and use the trailer to hold the front up. Seems like not the greatest idea. There's no parking brake in this truck, and obviously the transmission is not gonna stop it because the drive shaft is not hooked up. Idea number two is just simply to try and jack it up right here on the trailer. I'll take the back straps off. I'll probably leave the fronts on, chalk one of the front wheels, jack the back up with just a hand jack, and see what that does. I'm thinking that's the route we're gonna go. Let's dig into this here. Watching everything nice and easy. Don't want to go too high. And I don't love this. Worried about jacking up floor on my trailer. This is a new level of sketch. Coming down. Okay. We are on the jack stands. I'm leaving the jack under there because everything about this feels wrong. We'll see if I can squeeze my big old self up in there to get that drive shaft out. Oh, it won't come out. Why won't it come out? Oh, God. I don't love the way this feels. I'll be honest with you guys. This sucker does not want to come out, and I don't understand why. Got it. Okay. Whew. That was not as easy as I thought it would be. Okay. Out from this mobile nightmare. Oh. All right, so as you can see, this is pretty well boogered. It's actually not that bad. This side's definitely still good. This side has seen better days. So I trust my skills with a grinder, cut-off wheel, Dremel, anything that cuts. I got pretty good skills, and I've been doing it a while. you know, it and the hammer's kind of my go-to tool out here. However, I'm afraid if I do what I need to get this U-joint out, or what's remaining of it, that I may not get the new one in, at least correctly, and it's going to be oblong. That hole won't be perfect, and then we'll just run into U-joint failure really early, or more issues. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think I need to just replace it. It's not that great. It's this part right here that bothers me. What do we got down here? There might be some wearage there. So I don't know if that's how that always looked or not. Nothing on the, oh, there's a little bit on the inside of the shaft there. I think that'll be all right though. Yeah, there's some there too. As long as the back side of these don't look terrible. I think this side's fine. It does have a bunch of grease or something on it. That's weird. I wonder where that came from. So yeah, I think this needs to go to the drive shaft shop. I'll just have them lop that off, put a new one on, give me a new U-joint, and we'll call it good. Let's see if we can get back underneath there real quick. We'll take a look at that pinion and just make sure nothing funky looks out of whack there. All right, so we still got one cap in it. That one obviously came out because these nuts came out. I don't even think they're that beat up. And where do them nuts go? Does this have lock washers? It does. Well, that's some kind of washers. Huh. I think I'm going with Nylox next time. Kurt asked me like 5 times if we tighten these up. I'm pretty sure we did. We did all them dyno pulls and everything. It would have come out before then. So I think that's that. Yeah, we're with that drive shaft fixed, and then we're gonna get some drive shaft safety loops on this thing, because the drive shaft shop I go to, it's like 45 minutes from here, and now that poses another issue. I can't take my reliable vehicle because it's hooked to the trailer that has this truck on it. I suppose I could just drop it here on the ground. It's a whole nother thing. Yeah, get the drive shaft fixed, get the safety loops, and we'll put them on, and then we'll feel nice and good about all this. Okay, so it is about a week later. As you can see, the truck is no longer on the trailer. All right. Thomas came over and helped me get it off with the use of these really handy dollies that I had laying around. Almost forgot I had them while I was coming up with ideas, but whatever. It's off the trailer now. I've discovered more things broken, which is why this is taking so long. I have parts though. Parts have come in. All right. New pinion yoke and drive shaft safety loops. We'll talk about them more when we get there, but for now, let's get this up in the air and I'll show you exactly what's going on with that pinion. I've already spent about 30 minutes trying to get the truck set up correctly on the lift. It's the funnest part of my day usually out here. Remind me if I buy another lift to get a 4-post. All right, you see this here? Broomstick, some zip ties, holding up the old drive shaft because I put it in first before I found more stuff broken. And getting that on, not super easy. I really don't want to take it off. We'll see, we'll cross that bridge in a minute, but what we got going on here, you see this pinion, see here how it's all busted up? Well, it ended up smashing these holes kind of flat. That's the first thing I found, and I can work with that. You know, I've been in that scenario more than once, so I got the old Dremel with the die grinder, dry bit on there, and got them round again. Thought I had it all figured out. I'm gonna put it in, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it. See this tang here? I don't know if, does that help? That tang is bent, and it's not just the tip, it's bent down into here. Now, if I started to grind this to make room for the U-joint, by the time I was done grinding, there'd be nothing left to hold it in. You tell how straight and thick that one is. See, that is thinner because it's been smashed and it's not straight anymore. So that U-joint will not go in there, which means I got to take this pinion yoke out. And if you guys have been here long enough, you just watched us do this not that long ago. Now I'm about to do it again. Before I did it the last time, I did it the second time. Before I did it the second time, I did it the third. This is like the third time I've done this in 2 years. I'm not looking forward to it. That stupid crush sleeve that's in there, we'll just do it all over again. If you haven't seen it before, we'll go through it one more time. But to get in there, you need an 1¼ inch socket. And it turns out you need a thin wall 1¼ inch, which I don't have. I just bought a socket. Let's just try it to see what happens here. Yeah, not even close. So, I bought one single socket for $4 at Harbor Freight, and we're gonna make us a thin wall socket. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Bench vise and a grinder. Here we come. Let's make some tools. Okay, there it is. Still hot. It's not exactly smooth, and I took off, you know, all the etching, but I think it's pretty obvious what this one is now, right? Ooh. So now we check. I've already checked it works, but I'll show you. Bingo bango. Okay. So now we get to take that off. I'm not going to be able to with this broomstick in here though. I don't want the drive shaft just to hang. Might have to let it just hang. Maybe I can get my transmission jack in here. Here's the other terrible thing, is that we're going to lose some fluid out of that diff. And diff fluid, if you buy good stuff, not cheap. I have more, but I think we're going to go for a speed run here. See how quickly we can get that thing loose and out of there before we lose a bunch of fluid. Get the new one ready to go here. This unit here, I did not realize how much this unit cost. This is a forged unit. It's really hard, which is unfortunate because, as you can obviously see, we smashed it. So how hard is it? But here's a new one. All right, I'm gonna get set up. We'll see how quickly we can do this and how little fluid we can lose. Okay, broomstick out. As you can see, I have everything in my way. We've got potential tools I may need. Impact and hammer. You know, what else do you need? Drain pan, transmission jack, holding up the drive shaft. So everything's directly in my way. I'm gonna get you guys propped up and we'll see how quickly we can do this swap and not screw it up. Already. Okay. Not gonna worry about the. Oh shit, that's a lot, that's a lot, that's a lot, that's a lot. Move it up a bit. Okay. Oh. Okay, so that was a decent, I'd call that a decent amount. I probably freaked out a little bit when I, was saying that's a lot, that's a lot. whole bunch. It could be worse, right? Like we could be P. Diddy right now, so that's okay. I might top it off if I think I need to. It's pretty much done leaking now. So now comes the fun part where I've got to ugga dugga and then check as I ugga and don't put too many duggas on. It's not fun. Okay, now we check, because it happens real fast when you get too much on there. Ooh, that's pretty close. Wow. Might actually call that good. That's showing right at about 20 inch-pounds. What we're doing is testing rotational force, right? Like, how much does it take? Man, that's like 20. Whew. I think I'm gonna call it. You see me lube up the shaft of that thing a little bit when we put it together. And there's already oil in there. Yep, I'm calling that. That's like 25 inch-pounds of rotational force. Man, I can't believe I got that on the first try. Is it supposed to feel like that? It doesn't appear to be leaking anymore. Feels like it's going up though. Why is it going up? That doesn't make any sense. I should have marked the threads. We did this last time. Mark the threads and the nut. I don't know why I didn't think about that. You can see the marks from the last time. Actually, if I can see the marks from last time, will that do me any good? I'm calling it. I'm calling it. I'm gonna check them marks real quick. And I think we're calling it. That's right at like 23 to 25 inch-pounds of force. I think, do not quote me, I think you want 19 to 25. So that mark is lined up with that mark on that nut. I think I just got lucky. Okay. All right, we're calling that done. Now it's time to move on to Driveshaft safety loops, which could get a wee bit interesting. Okay, we have developments. Well, let's just talk about these Driveshaft safety loops first. So this is a real nice unit. All right, nice welds everywhere. This is powder coated, super nice, built for this truck. I like it. Obviously you see the tube is above the mounting face here. So this is gonna be the lowest point on the truck now. So the only additional, or the ground clearance you're gonna lose is this bolt head. That is it. Really nice design. The guy who makes this thought it out. Now, they do not offer one for an extended cab two-wheel drive, right? So I have two drive shafts. Excuse me. I have two drive shafts with a bearing there, right? So I need two. One back here and one up here. Now I've already slid this one on. Took off the bearing here to do that. Should have recorded because wow, that was interesting. Balancing this on my head momentarily. But whatever, here we are. Except, so this is designed to go in these factory holes here, right? The bolts fit right up in there. Nut and bolt, bang, bang, boom, done. Except, in my scenario, like we're centered there, right? You guys see that? Mile off, mile off. So I'm not gonna blame the maker of this at all. This guy, I like what he's doing. You know, he started this in his garage, I believe. He now has a website and everything. Actually, I got my trans mount from him. That trans mount there, that's the same dude. Now, I will say this one has been modified because, at least at the time when I got this, I got it for the 4L60 that we originally had in here. I had to modify it for the T56. I don't know if he now offers one or not for a T56. And then this is his as well. Real nice unit, just slaps right up there. Look at all this clearance. Lighter weight, obviously. I would also argue it's stronger. So he does good work, not his fault. So what we've got here is either a twisted truck, right? The frame's tweaked, which is extremely possible because, I mean, this thing had 200,000 on it when I got it. It was a lot truck we used to move rail cars around. It wasn't treated very nice, so that's very possible. But something else I've noticed, I've known this, but just kind of said whatever, is the engine transmission is not exactly centered in the vehicle, right? You guys able to see? So we're right in line with the drive shaft. You able to see all this gap here and how little we have over here, right? There, 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 there. It's hard to tell. It just isn't center. It just isn't. Now I'm using Atomic Fab motor mounts right there. So those are new. What they're mounted to on the frame here is factory, as you can tell by the rust. I can get you guys in there. This one's a little better. Actually, I think that one's new. Well, I think I got that off a wrecked truck or a scrap truck somewhere. But, you know, if we're saying this part of the truck here is straight, yes, I got new motor mounts, but that shouldn't have crookeded the engine. I don't know why it's like this. What I do know is I'm not going to investigate it and try and move it. I'm gonna pretend it's by design. That's how it's supposed to be. And I'm gonna modify this, which sucks. I expected this front one would bolt right in and we'd have to modify the back one because, you know, he doesn't make one for the back. But this really blows. Now we're modifying everything. Literally nothing bolts on this truck. I don't remember the last thing I put on this truck that just went boop. Nothing. We're modifying everything. So here we go. I'm gonna look at this for about, I don't know, 20 minutes. I might even mow the lawn and think about it and decide exactly how I want to modify this. That being said, I would say if you've got a nicer truck, you should have no worries about buying a unit like this. If you don't want to do this, I know you can buy just this loop and you can buy tubing and you make it all your own. They also sell what I think are crappy ones that bolt to the floor. They're kind of universal. I didn't really want to go that route. In my mind, this kind of strengthens the frame and protects the drive shaft and everything else all at the same time. So this is the way to go. And when we purchased these, we supported an American making parts for Americans in his American shop. And I actually kind of watched him move up, right? So like I said, when I bought the transmission mount and the engine crossover, it was a PayPal, send him a Facebook message and send him the money and kind of hope you get your parts, and he's a decent human being. And he was, and he is. I got my parts, and he's just slowly moved up since then. Got a website and everything. So super cool dude. It's DTR Fab if you want to look him up. You can find them in performancetrucks.net is how I found them. And then you can check the website out, DTR Fab. They do good work. All right, I'm gonna look at this and figure something out here. Hey, do you guys remember that time I said nothing goes together on this right and I gotta modify everything? There's been a couple developments. So I came to look at the one on the table still to, think about how I'm gonna modify both these. You guys notice what I notice? Right? You're talking 16 inches. Go do this side. You're talking like 13 and a half, 14. So, where it is true, most things do not bolt together on this truck and everything needs modified. This is another case of I'm an idiot and didn't, really do enough research and, plan ahead. So now I've got to get that drive shaft loop all the way out, spun around, and then put back in, which is going to be much more difficult than putting it on because I had this end on and had it just dangling here. Drop this real quick, rested it on my head, got it back over there, put it back up. Now I've got to get it all the way off here. Oh God. Okay. So I got the rear in, I put the old straps in and just got one nut on each side holding it. So this hopefully will not come crashing out down on me. So now I got to take the carrier bearing back off, get this over here, take this off, get it all the way out, spin it around, put it back on, get this on. Do I bolt that back up in between? Or do I use this to prop it up? I think I should use this to prop it up. I was gonna set you guys on here so you could watch. All right, I'll be right back. We'll figure something out. All right, this is about the best I got right now. Can't seem to find my magnet mount. We'll do this all over again. That one's not super happy, so I take it all the way off first. This is the not fun one. Alright, notice the position of my head. Oh God! Okay. Come on. Okay. This time I'm gonna use this. Okay. Everybody calm down. We got that. Get these. In here. Okay. Now all we gotta do is, this thing's gonna be in the way. Son of a bee. Okay, back to the original way. Get out of here. Come on. Oh, fuck. There. All right. Okay. Whew. Sorry for the foul language there, but these were getting tense. It's not as easy to balance that on your head as you may think. Okay. Safety first, right? That's what we're doing here. That's the whole point of being here. So now we need to get it off the back end. This is probably going to get all wobbly when I take that off. I should probably start a nut or something here. I don't know. Maybe I can just, yeah. Oh, this thing's not good. Okay. It's started. This is kind of holding some pressure. All right, let's move to the back. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, take these nuts off. Oh, come on. Okay, those nuts are off. Actually, okay, that's kind of nice. All right, so now we need to pull this out. Okay, balance that. Spin this. Okay, then get these straps ready to go again. Okay, this is actually a really tight fit and kind of a pain to do. Oh, I get the first time? I did. Okay. Whew. All right, now we go back this way. All right, so let's take a look at this now. Oh, would you look at that? Bread and butter. It's almost like it was built for this truck or something. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like it was meant to be in there. Okay, jeez. All right, so we've learned a lesson. Measure stuff, read the directions. There wasn't directions. Read the stats on the internet. Look at things more clearly. I don't know. There was lessons to be learned. You guys are smarter than me. So I think we bolt this up now. Yeah? I want to get her bolted up, cool down, and then we'll move on to the next one, I guess. I'll show you when it's all bolted up. Okay, there it is. Driveshaft safety loop number 1. She's in place. I put blue Loctite on those bolts. It's looking pretty good. You know, all you got to do is, you know, assemble it correctly, and it, god dang it, bolt right together. Who would have thunk it? So now we'll move on to the back. But what I said earlier about him not offering one for an extended cab 2-piece drive shaft is still true. So that one may actually need some modification, and I knew it going in. I still decided to buy 2 instead of building my own from scratch, because, you know, you got to buy stuff, and I'm sure we can make it work. I'd rather support him anyway. So we'll set back up for the rear and get started on it, I guess. Okay, it is a new day. Thought about it, did some yard work, hung out with Tay-Tay for the evening, and trimmed up the old whiskers, but we are back at it. This thing was in my dreams last night. So I think I know what I'm gonna do. Let's talk about it real quick. All right, so I think I'm gonna find a spot where I wanna mount this. Somewhere in this region. And I'm going to cut this off. It will not currently mount where I want it to because of that. So we'll cut that out, drill some holes in the frame and mount it. And then we'll see what we need, you know, to do to finish it. I think I know roughly where I want to mount it. So if we're saying this piece and this piece are mounted on the frame symmetrically, I measured, what is that, 2 inches back. We want it somewhere in this region here. Probably put the hole about there. The same thing here, just measured 2 inches back. We want it in between here. All right, so this doesn't have to be perfect. We're not going to SEMA. The only people that are ever gonna see this are myself and anyone who decides to help me work on it. So this is just metal, let's not freak out. I'm not a fabricator by any means, but I'm pretty good at modifying stuff, and that's what we're doing. We're modifying stuff. Okay, my brain says Sawzall is the right tool for this, I don't want to cut right on these welds. I want to cut just a little bit back from it because this is going to leave a gap. I want to fill that hole, and I don't want to ruin the integrity of these welds. This is powder coated, so this kind of is going to hurt to do, but here's what it is. I'm just going to go by eyeball. Just one eyeball. Looks pretty good. Well, you guys are vibrating all over the place here. That is less than straight, but we ain't winning no awards here. There it is. Like I said, it's not exactly straight. We can fix that up a bit. Nothing a grinder can't fix, right? That's more gooder. Oh, that's interesting. You guys want to see something? So these tubes aren't actually notched. They're put right down in there and then welded around. Wonder if you save much. I mean, obviously you don't have to notch this, but you still have to cut a hole in it. But I think this guy uses a plasma table, so it probably does save him a lot of work. We'll call that flat enough. So now we got to drill some holes in the frame and mount her up. All right, I had to readjust where I wanted to mount it. Where I wanted to mount it up here isn't gonna work because the top of the loop hits like right up in here. I didn't want to move it much back further because the further back we move, the more ground clearance we lose. And I guess we haven't discussed it, but the point of these is, here, I'll show you on this front one. So if it were to break off on this end while going really fast forward, you have the potential for this drive shaft to come down like this and flip your car, roll your car, you bring the back end up, which, you know, at speed is going to be a real issue. So the main reason for these is to stop that. Secondary function is obviously this will catch it, and you know, anything up under here that it could have beat up is going to be limited because it can only bounce in here, right? So when we're mounting this rear one, we need to have it, you know, fairly close to the front side of it, even though the last time our issue was back here. Not a whole lot we can do about that. Plus back here, you know, you have the articulation of the suspension. So it's harder to figure out exactly where you want it, and obviously the further back you go, the more ground clearance you're going to lose from this bar. The further up you go, the less articulation you have, and we are at full droop right now. Obviously there's nothing under the suspension, so we know exactly where it needs to be. The bottom bar, whatever I make here, you know, just can't be touching this and we'll be fine. So like I was saying, I couldn't put it here because it was hitting up here. So I didn't want to move it backwards, so I got to move it forwards. I ended up moving it to here. As you can see, I already drilled holes. That was fun. I got covered in metal shavings, but it's going to sit at kind of an angle now. I think I can correct that. I'm pretty sure I can correct that with the way I build the bottom structure. So I'm not too worried. Now I'm just digging out debris. As you can see, this truck spent most of its time off-road. And there's a lot up in here. So I get this out so that bolt can go up there. We'll get this bolted up and then start talking about, you know, geez, what we're gonna do. That's thick. You see that whole frame rail is just coated. I should just take some time and clean all that out that I can reach right now. I probably won't. We'll see. Okay, I end up doing it. Oh, you guys can see. Got it cleaned out. So from like here to here, we got all of that. Now there's some big boys down in there, but I did get like 4 zip ties back, so that's something, right? So now I guess I'll clean this up so I'm not, you know, just walking in it for the rest of the day. And then we'll bolt this up. We'll come back. We're making progress. Making progress. All right, it's mounted up. Oh, I got her bolted. She's pretty snug, both sides there. I don't know if I said it before, but what I'm shooting for is 1/2 inch gap, right? So I just put this wrench here and zip tied her up. And boy, let me see if I can get a, where's my measuring stick? There it is. You guys able to, well, you can't. Yeah, it's pretty hard to see. That's a 1/2 inch. So I think I was originally going to use the piece I cut out of here to build 2 stands off and then like a flat strap. But I don't think we need to do all that work. If I just get, you know, a piece of flat strap, obviously I don't want to use a wrench. Well, actually, would that be funny? I do have tools for this very type of purpose. See all these? Can't remember if this, I think this is the box I got out of a hoarder's house for free. Oh, that'd be pretty funny. Put a wrench on it. Oh God, I'm going down. Cut those ends off right where they bend. Then I don't have to cut a piece of metal out. How do you think that'll weld? Then we can see if quarters fit in there. That'd be pretty funny, right? Okay. Well, I'm gonna measure real quick in case I change my mind and want to use a piece of metal. See how long we need. Either do something with a wrench or cut out a piece of metal, and we got to plug them holes. I'm gonna do some metal measuring. I'm gonna take that out, and then yeah, I'll bring you back when we're doing stuff. All right, decided not to go with the wrench. I just don't know how it's gonna weld. Plus, that's still a tool. Why would I destroy it when it's still a tool? So, got this hunk of metal here. I don't even remember where I got it from. It's been laying around for a while. It's a pretty thick boy. That's 1/4 inch. But I just measured. All we're doing is filling a gap. So 12 inches wide. That tube is 1 1/4 inches. So 12 inches by 1 1/4 inches. I made this line really thick. I'll cut right on the outside of it just to make sure we got plenty. But this should cover everything. Can't let this metal stuff scare you. All we're doing is filling gaps here. So you can use anything you got laying around. All you need is straight edge, a marker, and a ruler. Now you will eventually need a welder, but anymore those are getting pretty affordable. Like that unit's under $1,000 now, and it does pretty much everything except TIG aluminum, and I can't TIG steel, so what's it matter right now? So I'm gonna cut this out, and then we'll probably take that out and start seeing how things fit. Don't forget safety first. right, there it is. I won't be touching that. I won't be touching that for a little bit. Now we check for fires, because that was a lot. Oh, well, those are empty, but still. Yikes. Okay, I think we're all right. We'll let that metal cool down. Make sure I don't see anything start smoldering. And we'll go from there. All right, well, I got it cleaned up as much as it's gonna clean up. You guys know any tricks to getting mill scale off, like without spending 95 hours on it? Because Jesus, I'm calling it good enough for now, at least. So this is kind of what we got here. I did notice while mocking this up and putting it up here, see if you guys can see, it does matter as to the orientation, right? So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to hold it in place. Really don't want to weld it on the truck and risk frying the computer. So now I'm working on plugging these holes. I did check. I did look. Quarters do not fit. Too small. Had this U-joint cap laying around from, you know, this whole debacle. Turns out that is perfect. Absolutely perfect. But I can't just put it in there because there's not enough room on the drive shaft side, right? So I found in my scrap pile this old bed frame. If you guys have been here long enough, you've seen us use this, the hunks that are missing already. We used this when we put in the clutch pedal like a year ago. So this works out pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Cut out 2 of these. Use this as kind of like my jig, you know what I mean? And just burp. And we'll be plugging that up with this. It's plenty thick enough material. This is exactly why you don't throw anything away. You never know when you're gonna need this stuff. It is sitting in my scrap pile, and if the scrap pile ever gets big enough to make it worthy of taking in, we might do that, but it ain't right now. So don't throw anything away, especially if it's made of metal. All right, I got one kind of done. Still hot, but it's not exactly round, but that's okay. We can always take more off. No, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We're just kind of shaping up some metal. Here's the next one. It's hard for you guys to see. There you can see I got the outline of it drawn. I just gotta nick her off. Ain't much to it but to do it, you know what I'm saying?
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. Have no regrets, yeah, I'll tattle my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love. What you think is right, and see life do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right, and see life do what you want. So give me all the scars, I'm a human being. Cover them with tattoos so you can't see. Knew it from the start, you had problems with me and the things I could be, I just wish I had seen. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains. clear my mind, so I've got these things that I can't let go. Want to turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right, and to like do what you want. So fight and die for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right, and to like do what you want.
There we go. That was 6 minutes almost exactly. That one's a lot better than the other one. It's usually how it goes. It's probably still a little big. That's okay. We can always take some more off or just, you know, hammer it in there to get what we need. So I'm gonna let these cool down and then we'll see if they fit. Okay, circle pieces finished. Got them cleaned up as much as they're gonna clean up. Let's check them out here. About as good as they're gonna get. Originally I was gonna make it so that they fit in, but I think that's just doing too much. You can see I already got this one tacked. So we'll tack this one in and weld them up, I guess. I actually don't want to weld on the bottom because that's going to interfere with the piece I'm putting in. Let's just run a little bead here, see if I can do this. Oof, little dribble there. That'd be too much wire. Okay, well, that's that. We'll clean it up. I'll probably have to flatten the bottoms out because it's going to screw up what I need to do for the flat bar. And that'll be that. Pretty happy with it overall though. Plugged up. That's what we came here to do. Alright. So I got the caps welded on. I ground the bottom side flush. So I was kind of surprised. Like, it didn't crack. Like, the welds are doing welding things. So, final step here. I got this mounted. I'm calling that good. That's about the orientation I want. Still got that 1/2 inch of play. And like I said, this is at full droop. Got vice grips holding on. I put these zip ties on first just to get it where I wanted it. And then I was thinking every which way to hold this on here. I'm out here messing with ratchet straps. And then it just hits me. Vice grips. I think I've been out here too long. I don't know how long this is going to be, you guys watching this whole process here today. But I've been out here for a while. This is not fast. But that's okay. We, people like you and I, we have our fun and get our stuff done through sweat equity, not money. So here we are. I'm going to take this back off now for like the 15th time. And hopefully this plate doesn't move. And get her over to the bench nice and slowly, not moving that plate, and we'll weld it up. Vice grips off. Smelt some wire. There you go. You guys able to see down in there? I don't have a wire brush on me right now. I think we are welded. Okay, here it is. Finished product. I let it cool. I put a little bit more weld on some of the uglier spots because we are not professionals. And let it cool again. Wiped it down with some acetone. Now we're gonna paint. The black I have here, I really hate. It's like water, super thin. So I dug around and I found some of this Plastidip. You guys see that? New and improved formula, it says there. This can looks like it was made in about 1999. I don't know if Plastidip was a thing then, but it appears to be working. You remember that hoarder's house I told you got all them wrenches out of? Got this from them too. Got a bunch of colors, but here's black. So we're gonna give this a nice coat and let her cook. Really all there is to it. Probably shouldn't be holding this like this. It'll be all right. If you guys are still here with us, I'd like you to know I appreciate you. I really enjoy being out here with you guys. The more I do this, the more I notice that, you know, this is the one thing I like to do the most. I'm really enjoying making YouTube videos. I hope you guys are liking them. If there's anything you want to see that we're not doing, feel free to say something. Car YouTube is more expensive than I thought it would be, what with parts and whatnot, but yeah, if you're new and you're liking what you see, feel free to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. We're trying to just grow the channel nice and naturally. I think we're gonna call that. I'm not gonna bother doing the whole thing. It's already powder coated. Why waste more sweet Plastidip than I need to? I just hope it lays on thicker than paint, you know what I mean? So, we're gonna let this hang outside in the sun and the wind and dry. And then when we come back, we'll put her together. We'll see you guys then. All right, it's been a couple hours. I've let it dry. We are just about done. Let me show you the final product here. There it is, mounted up. I will say, I feel like we lost a little bit of our gap. Metal does tend to warp with heat, but I'm gonna let it ride, mainly because, you know, I've come this far. We'll see what happens. Did I just rub that off? That may not be good paint. Stupid Plastidip. Okay, well, that's it. We're calling it done. A couple things to note here. You could have done this many different ways, right? You could have, instead of cutting the center off, you could have cut it here and over here and stepped it down a fuzz. That would have worked. That would have brought this hoop down a bit too, which it does not need to be that tall. I didn't feel like shortening it at this point in time. You could have cut it here and stepped it out to this cross member here. You could have done it any number of ways. This is the way I went. I felt like it was the least amount of work to obtain the goal. Looking at this now, we'll see. I mean, that'll go up some when the suspension has weight on it again, but you know, there ain't much articulation here compared to in the rear, so we'll see. Working on putting this back together. I got this side tight. We've got Loctite on them, and they are officially tight. You see the lock screw there. I'm using this for video evidence in case they come off again. Oh, that's not tight. What in the world? Oh, I spun it. Whew. Okay, there we go. Yeah, those two are tight. Okay, now we're more right. Yeah, these still need tightened up. There is definitely Loctite on them. Blue, because it's what I got. I would have put red on it, but I don't have any. So, I'm gonna tighten these up. I'm gonna put this back on the ground. And then I really hope the next time you see this thing, it's doing something on the red. Thanks for being here. For now, we'll see you guys in the future.